So it wasn't that long ago that I used to think of people who smoked cigars or tobacco pipes or drank anything, particularly bourbon or hard liquor, as just terrible people. It was kind of the way I was raised, and pretty conservative, and it was just seen as a bad thing. Since then, my perception has changed. Sometimes we have really strong opinions on things. Sometimes our perspective limits our experiences. You know, we don't try certain foods, we don't go to certain places, we don't do certain things, we don't experience new things because we already think we know what we think about that thing. We think that we don't like this type of food, or we think we won't get along with those kinds of people, or we think that we won't enjoy going to this place because we know what it's like. Oftentimes it's because we have a limited perspective. We don't really get it. We don't know what we're missing. The problem, as I see it, is that we can miss out on opportunities. It could be that that thing that you don't think you'll like, you may love.
The leaves here, this is so cool.
Tiny branches. Josiana, do you like it here? Oh yeah, there's a pond that we saw turtles.
We're just in heaven.
How's the climb?
A mile.
This flower is actually John Muir's favorite flower. Which I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. We just found him like in a field, like wide open. It's amazing here. The boys are climbing a rock.
Show everyone how you get down.
Remember the first time I went to Yosemite? It was one of the most jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring experiences I've ever had. But it took me changing my perspective, looking at it differently. Remember, while we were at Yosemite, we drove out to El Cap, which is amazing, amazing place. So my wife and I went out there on this tour bus full of tourists. We exited the bus in a way so that the bus was between us and the view of El Cap. So in order to really see El Cap, you had to step a little ways from the bus, because otherwise if you looked up, all you saw was the tippy top of El Cap and just this big bus in front of you. So we got off and knew where we were at, and walked out into the field a little ways. So you got this grand view of El Cap, and it was just jaw-dropping. But the other tourists on the bus, big group of them that probably didn't really speak English and didn't exactly know where they were, got off the bus, stood kind of in front of the bus, and looked the opposite direction of El Cap. And I remember watching them look out into the valley, which was pretty, but you could tell they just didn't get it. They were kind of like looking around, and some were taking pictures, but they just didn't get what the big deal was. And a lot of them got back on the bus and never saw it. Sometimes our perspective of the world is limited because we aren't willing to change our perspective, or we haven't, or we don't really know what we're missing. Open to new perspectives, and realizing that to get those new perspectives, we often have to change our own perspective. And to do that, we have to move, do something different, something that could be really uncomfortable or freaky or terrifying. Oftentimes, our perception of things can be very poor and very limited. And oftentimes, we're not willing to even change it. It's just like, this is what it is. I like it that way. To me, smoking, drinking, it just seemed trashy. It Seemed like the kind of people who did that weren't the kind of people that I thought I was or wanted to be. So I kind of just dismissed it. I was like, that's stupid. I would never do that. Again, I'm not trying to tell you to go out and do this. I'm just saying that the problem, as I see it, is that we can miss out on opportunities. I think to a certain extent, it's important to be open to new opportunities, new perspectives. The thing is, changing our perspectives can be very uncomfortable. It can take us to places we don't want to go or do things that we don't want to do. I think for my family and I, when we sold everything we owned and bought a travel trailer and hit the road full time for like 4 years, so much of that was very uncomfortable. But all of it changed our perspective dramatically on places, people, trying new things. Like everything opened up for us in so many ways. To me, being open to new possibilities, opportunities, ways of looking at things, even down to our core belief systems that we hold so tightly, being open to looking at them differently can literally be life-changing. Bare minimum, you'll learn something. If you like this channel, subscribe to it, won't you? And also, there is a Amazon, what is it called? If you click on that link, anything you buy on Amazon within 24 hours, we get a percentage of, a cut of. So if you have a big purchase coming up on Amazon, use that link first, won't you? Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.